Peace, family, peace. So I realized that when I was going through the steps initially on the freecodecamp.org, build a CatPhotoApp, I was rushing through it and I wasn't showing you guys how what we were doing was correlating to what we were creating. So I decided to slow things down and then actually walk you guys through the steps of what we're doing, how we're doing it, and then why we're doing it, so you really get the full concept of the actual learning how to code. Like, this is a real tool that can generate income once we actually master it. And I didn't really master, but once we grasp the concept and then it just continues to grow, the more money we'll be able to make. So let's start with step 1. HTML elements have an opening and closing tag with content in between. Here is the basic syntax. An example code: opening tag, content, closing tag. So the first element you will learn about is the H1 element. The H1 element is a heading element and is used for the main heading of a web page. Example code H1. This is a main heading opening tag. This is a main heading closing tag. Change the text of the H1 element below from Hello World to CatPhotoApp and watch the change in the browser preview. When you are done, press the check your code button to see if it's correct. So as you can see, we have a H1 tag, opening tag, closing tag with a text in between, and you have Hello World. What we're doing in step 1, we're basically going to change the title of our web page to CatPhotoApp. We're going to check it. Congratulations. So we changed the name right here. That's step 1. Step 2. The H1 through H6 heading element are used to signify the importance of content below them. The lower the number, the higher the importance. So H2 elements have less importance than H1 elements. So we're basically going to give our web page headers. So we have the title, head title, and then we're going to give it other headers that lose importance as we create more. So this is the first one, so it's at the top of the page, so this is the most important one. But as we create different headers within these, they will still be headers, but they'll be less important. So we're going to create a second header, H2, closing tag, and we're going to label that one Cat Photos. See how it gets smaller? Because it's less important than this one. Go to the next step. Step 53. The P element is used to create a paragraph of text on websites. Create a P element below your H2 element and give it the following text: see more cat photos in our gallery. So we're going to create a paragraph that describes cat photos. So below the H2 element, we're going to create a P element. Inside of the P element, we're going to give it this text. And there you have it, a paragraph up under our second heading element. As we make more headers, they become less important. And this paragraph describes this cat photos. Step 4. Commenting allows you to leave messages without affecting the browser daily display. It also allows you to make code inactive. A comment in HTML starts with left arrowhead, exclamation point, dash dash, contains any number of lines of character, and ends with hash right arrowhead. Here is an example of a comment with the to-do remove H1. Add a comment above the P element with the text to-do add link to CatPhotoApps. So we're going to left arrowhead, exclamation point, dash dash, add, that's the equal sign, dash dash, and we're going to add this right here. And we're going to close it with dash dash arrowhead. Put some space in between it. Close that one out. Cat 5. HTML has some elements that identify different content areas. This example makes your HTML easier to read and help the search engine optimization and accessibility. The main element is used to represent the main content of the body of HTML document. Content inside the main element should be unique to the document and should not be repeated in other parts of the document. So we're going to put a main element within. We're going to put our H1 element and P element within the main element. The main element is used to represent the main content of body of an HTML document. Content inside the main element should be unique to the document and should not be repeated in other parts of the document. So we're going to create the most important part of our web page right here. And it's going to surround H1. So identify the main section of the page by adding a main element opening tag before H1. So CatPhotoApp is going to be our most important part of the document. We're going to create a main element. And we're going to put H1 inside of the main element. And add a closing tag after the P element. Oh, right here. So this area right here, CatPhotoApp, Cat Photos, the header 1, header 2, and the paragraph are going to be the most important part of our web page. We just established that by putting these elements within the main element. Remember, the main element is used to represent the main content of the body of an HTML document. Content inside the main HTML main element should be unique to the document. So this area right here is going to be more unique than the rest of the document. And we're creating a CatPhotoApp. So let's go to the next page. In the previous step, you put the H1, H2 a comment and P elements inside the main element. This is called nesting. Nested elements should be placed 2 spaces further to the right of the element they are nested in. The spacing is called indentation and is used to make HTML easier to read. So we need to, well, it's already done. Well, we need to nest over this P element, obviously, because it hasn't been nested. So everything that is nested needs to be nested within the main element. So you establish the main element, and then everything you're nesting in between is going to be indented. And I think some coders indent like this. I think someone told me to do it like this, so it's more important for some reason. You should not change the indentions of the line with your H2 element. Or maybe not. Maybe not. Okay, step 7. You can add images to your website by using the IMG element. IMG elements have an opening tag without a closing tag. An element without a closing tag is known as a void element. So an IMG element doesn't have a closing tag and is considered a void element. An IMG element below the P element. Add an IMG element below the P element at this point. We're going to add an IMG element right here. And this is going to be so we can put a photo right here. We haven't put one in there yet. It's more steps that we have to do. Step 8. HTML elements are special words used inside the opening tag of an element to control the element's behavior. The SRC attribute in an IMG element specifies the IMG URL where the image is located. So the SRC is going to actually establish a photo here because the SRC is going to have a location within it that the photo is going to be retrieved and placed on the page. Here's an example of an IMG element with an SRC attribute pointing to the freecodecamp logo. So inside of our IMG element, that's a void element. A void element doesn't have a closing tag. We're going to place an SRC attribute. And using that SRC attribute, we're going to place a location, which is this location right here, this website that has an image. I'm going to copy and paste that and place it within our quotation marks. And then this is when the photo is going to be established on our page. So those steps are important when you're building a web page and you're putting a photo on it. You have to utilize the image element, you have to utilize the SRC, and then you're going to need a location to make sure that the photo pops up on the page. You can't just copy and paste a photo and place it within the code, because you have to use the code to place the photo on the web page. Okay, so we're going to check that. Should pass. Okay, step 9. An IMG element should have an alternate attribute. The alternate attribute text is used for screen readers to improve accessibility and is displayed if the image fails to load. Here is an example of an IMG element with the alternate attribute. So here's an example: IMG, SRC, and then the alternate. So remember, the alternate attribute is going to be a text that pops up just in case this image fails to load. So if you go to this web page and you say you have a bad Wi-Fi connection or whatever the case may be, and the photo doesn't load, the alternate text is going to pop up. So in order for that to happen, we need to put an alternate attribute and set it to a orange cat lying on its back. We're going to copy and paste that. And then if it doesn't load, that's what happened. It won't happen now because the image is loaded. But let's say, like we said, we had a bad connection and the photo didn't pop up, or the connection was slow. Instead of the image popping up, a text will pop up just to show that the web page is having some type of response. It's not the web page, it's the connection. Step 10. You can link to another page with the anchor element. Here is an example linking to this location. So we're going to use, and it's already there. Let's reset this so we can do it. Okay, so use an anchor element is going to give this photo a location when you click on it. So it's going to help. If you click this photo, you can go to this web page. So add an anchor element after your paragraph element. So we're going to add an A element, closing tag, A. And then within that anchor element, we're going to give it a location, an attribute of href with a quotation marks, and we're going to give it this website right here. Copy and paste, and then we're going to boom, check it. And basically what this gives, let me make sure, I guess we're just linking it. I thought it was just what you do on a, so I guess this paragraph right here it wouldn't happen now, but if it was a live page, you would click it and then it would go to this page right here. So there you guys have it. Again, I just wanted to start this series over because I realized I was still learning while doing those videos, and I didn't show you guys how learning the code gives you the ability to actually build things from scratch utilizing code. So every time you go to a web page or play a video game or use Netflix or something like an app, it has a code that's written, so the things that you see are things that you can utilize and visualize and really see them. And that's all building apps are, or building web pages are. It's just creating a place where customers and people can go to enjoy the service that you're providing. Whether it's playing video games, whether you're building a rocket, whether you're just basically re-engineering the system that the person is going to interact with. That's why code is so important, because if you know how to manufacture the things and you can help it be useful to others, then you have a skill that a lot of people don't have. So I just wanted to go back and redo those because we're going to start uploading these to the university. We're uploading them to Regalia, but hope this helps you guys out. Come back for steps 11 through 21 next video. And I wish everybody divine love, peace, and harmony. Peace.